Call. Okay, good afternoon, KW South Bay. How's everyone doing? Happy New Year. Yes. 2025. Wow. Can't believe it. It just went like this to me in 2024. Well, I'm very excited. New years, new goals, new accomplishments, and we got a lot of people to help, right? So thank you again for being at our first team meeting of the year. So let's go ahead and get started. We got some great content today, great speakers coming in, giving you some insight of what their plan of action is for 2025. All right, you know how we started here at KW, our mission, our belief, and our vision to provide agents with a place where they will be empowered, trained, motivated to experience growth, wealth, and a legacy that allows them to live their best life possible. Our beliefs, when the values of your own company align with your own beliefs, you know you've found your professional home. And our vision to achieve amazing professionals and personal development so that KW South Bay remains the agency of. Give yourselves a round of applause, please. All right, next slide, please. All right, let's thank our lunch sponsor, Christine Buscemi. Where is she at? Woo! A round of applause. Go there, making food. Hi, here. Finding us with the amazing lunch.
Always.
Yes.
My name is Christy Buscemi. I'm with Over Public Home Protection. I'm going on 20 years of home warranty now, and so I started when I was 12. And and I wanted a little participation today. So, show of hands, how many of you guys have car insurance? Everybody's hand should be up right now, right? And you pay it monthly, right? Do I have a volunteer to disclose how much they pay for the car insurance? Anybody? How much do you pay?
$62.
You pay $62 times 12 is a lot, right? Every day I'm getting these agents calling me and saying, gosh, I didn't know the home warranty costs more than $450 or $500. But when you think about it, how many of us make claims on our car insurance? Not very often, right? Maybe once or twice in a decade, and you pay it anyways every month because it's mandatory and necessary. And should you have an issue, you want that peace of mind knowing that you're going to have a driving vehicle, right? Well, you have to think about this. Our most expensive plan is $850. If you divide that by 12, it's less than what you pay in your car insurance, although our home is our most valuable asset, right? And so it's really important that when you're writing in these offers that we're not putting in just not to exceed 500, not to exceed 600. If it's a duplex, triplex, if there's 2 and a lot, 3 and a lot, if there's a pool, casita, ADU, if there's extra refrigerators, wine refrigerators, decorators. I mean, we need toppings as a sandwich shop, right? And when you write it, think, let's say you wrote it up to 2,000, gave it to Escort or TC. How do they know how to spend that money, right? You don't just call your car insurance company and say, I have $100 to spend. Give me car insurance, right? You talk to your car insurance person. What do I need? What does this cover? If I get in an accident, how much do I go up to? We need to look at home warranties the same way. Because I tell you, when your clients call me and they hear, oh, I didn't know I didn't get the ADU coverage. Or yesterday, I didn't know the pool coverage wasn't on there. My agent never talked to me about that. I didn't even know you were a thing, but now it's too late because I've been in, the home 6 months. Would've, could've, should've can hurt my heart. I hate saying no, right? But how many of you have gotten a car accident, crashed your car, and then tried to upgrade from liability to full coverage? Anybody? And what would the car insurance company say if you called and your car was stolen or somebody totaled it? What would they say to you, right? We kind of work the same way. We really need the coverage to be correct from the beginning. When you place an order, you get a confirmation. In the address, it has the property address. We will never solicit you with spam with the property address attached, right? I really want to make sure your clients are taken care of. My only goal is to create a positive experience. I like turning frowns upside down. I'm very good at it. but I really need the funds and the RPA, and I only get credit when you give it to me. So if you're having escrow place it or a TC, it's kind of like a coin toss, right? And when you go to have a service issue, first one to place the order, that rep takes care of that client, right? So I really would appreciate it. Right when you open escrow, I'll do all the work for you. I'll look it up, maximize the fund, reach out to your CTC, I'll call your buyer, seller, whoever you want me to go over the plan with. And I just want to give them the warm and fuzzies. Listen, you're taken care of. If something happens, call me. Here's my email. I'm willing to go the extra mile so that they have a pleasant experience. But 95% of the complaints that we get are from people getting a basic standard plan when they really needed full coverage. And that's equivalent to order liability versus full coverage on our car insurance. So please call me, let me know what you need. There's flyers out front. I'm running a raffle today for $50 for Amazon. For anyone that signs up for our toolbox, and if you're already a member of our toolbox, text me and I'll enter you. And I'll give away a $50 gift card. We have a ton of stuff in our toolbox, free marketing materials. It takes 3 minutes to place your orders. I'll walk you through it. I just want to be a resource. So give me a call, let me know what you need. Thank you.
Let's see, high energy today.
New Year.
I love it. I love
Best
it.
food, best work.
Yeah, thanks, Jim.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Christy. Appreciate it. All right, let's continue. Yeah, next slide. All right, I have this great event that's going to be happening this month on January 15th. If you all know Marie Hoffman, she's part of the Hoffman Murphy team. She's part of our office. What a great segue to start the new year. She's going to be hosting with Steve, KW Luxury Ambassador for the Central and Southern region here at the office. We need you to RSVP, please, okay? And I want to fill this office with amazing agents to really look at the opportunities when it comes to luxury, right? Now, the PV office, the Long Beach office is also going to be invited to this, so please make sure to RSVP, be here early to make sure you get a seat, okay? If you have any questions, please let us know. We'll be more than happy to provide you with additional information, okay? Let's support one of our agents, and she is one of our ambassadors for the luxury as well, okay? All right, next slide. Happy birthday to all of the amazing agents. Give yourselves a round of applause if you're on this list. Wow. I thought that the month of December's list was pretty big. Look at this, a lot of January. So congratulations. Happy birthday to all the amazing agents on this list. Next slide. And look at this, the anniversary, January. Okay, so again, round of applause. I'm planning to have sticking out with us and been part of this amazing organization and part of this office. So if you happen to see any of the agents on this list, please give them a high five. All right, let's continue. Next slide. All right, we've got Mr. Chris Rivera giving us some lender updates.
Thank you, sir.
You bet, you bet.
All right, guys. Well, first off, I want to say Happy New Year to all of you guys. Hopefully you guys are excited for 25, what that holds for us and what it's going to bring. Myself, I'm pretty excited for it. I think rates will behave for us and come down. But let's talk about rates, and then I want to give you kind of an updated cost of winning for you guys to be able to give out to your clients. Right now, rates are still hovering around 7%. They're not great, they're not bad, they're 7%. I do want to throw this out there. Last year, the bulk of the year, they were about 7% or higher. And even with that, the market appreciated over 4.5%, right? So we know even at these elevated rates of interest rates, homes are still moving and they're still appreciating, right? So I wanted to kind of go into the cost of winning because I know you guys do a lot of open houses, you do a lot of buyer presentations. And probably the first thing that you hear, or at least one of the objections that you're going to hear is, well, I'm going to wait. Because I think if I wait, interest rates are going to come down. And they're right. Interest rates are going to come down at some point in time. We've been saying it for a long time. But it's the whole concept that you guys have heard me talk about so many times. And I know you guys know this. You gotta marry the property and date the rate, right? Well, how do you thoroughly explain that to a client? It's a great catchphrase. But what does that mean to them, right? But there is an actual bona fide cost of waiting, and that's what you're talking about when you say marry the property, date the rate. So let's go to the first slide, Natalie. So there is an actual cost if you wait, because this person over the holidays wants to buy, but they went to some sort of networking event, or maybe they went to their family function and they sat next to their uncle who told them, hey, I got an interest rate of 3%, and life is great, right? But what they didn't tell them is how they got to 3%. They had to buy something first and then they refinance later. Let's talk about the cost of waiting, because in their head, they're like, you know what, maybe I will wait. Instead of buying this $1 million property, let's put that in North Torrance. Instead of buying that, I'll just rent, wait until rates come down, and then I'll buy then, right? So there's two buyers that come into your open house. One buyer is gung ho, they're already pre-approved by Chris Rivera for Brett Harbor Financial. The other guy comes in and says, well, I don't know if I want to buy, but let me take a look at the house, right? So buyer one goes ahead and buys the house. Today, the rate would be 7%, 30-year fixed, no points. You can see that at this point, his total payment is $65.14. That's all inclusive principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Natalie, slide 2. Buyer 2 says, I'm gonna wait because rates are gonna come down. And I know that they're gonna come down because all the indicators out there say they are. It's just a matter of when, right? So they wait a year, and they are correct. Rates did come down to 6%. We knew that. But what they forgot to realize in their game plan was the market was going to appreciate by 4%. At least that's the expectations for 2025. Maybe higher than that, but at 4%, they're no longer buying the house at $1 million. They're buying it at $1,040,000, 20% down gets them a loan balance of $832. Yeah, they got the rate they wanted. Their monthly payment is $62.21. They're pretty smart, or at least they think. Natalie, next slide. Because when they pit that against buyer one, they say, look, I'm ahead of the game by $292. That's what you're saying when you say marry the property, date the rate is on the next slide. Natalie? Because what happens with buyer one is they actually got a loan from Chris Rivera, who called them and said, hey guys, rates went down to 6%. So we're going to refinance that loan balance at $800,000 at 6%. And now their payment is $59.88 all inclusive. Natalie, next slide. So here's what happens to buyer one and buyer two. Buyer two still has a higher monthly payment. Oh, wait until she hits that slide.
That next slide, please.
But buyer one now has a refinance, and their payment now is below buyer two by $233 a month. That's only month one. Natalie, next slide. Remember, they're going to have this loan for 30 years. So after 12 months, they've saved $2,800 in monthly payments. Same house. They just bought earlier, right? Natalie, next slide.
Times 30.
Times 30. Exactly, Jim. That's $84,000 over the course of that loan. That is the cost of waiting.
That's a lot of dust on your head.
That is a lot. So again, marry the property, date the rate. This is what we're talking about. I got these guys. All you have to do is email me. You should have this booklets in your arsenal when you talk to a buyer. So when you talk about cost of waiting, you can show them exactly what it is. Brandon.
So the numbers you're showing there, Fred, are all tied to the payment savings and not the actual house appreciation either.
No, it is. It's built in there, yeah.
You're paying $82,000 over 30 years of appreciation.
Yeah, because you're always gonna have that 40,000 that's built into it. Exactly. Because you're always gonna have that property, you bought it cheaper. And that's
But
built
it's
into it.
like that number higher appreciation on $1 million.
Well, the appreciation is going to be there. This is just talking apples to apples between buyer A and buyer B. Where buyer A said, I'm gonna buy today and lock in my loan balance at 800,000. Where buyer B waited for rates, and now they have the same property, but they paid more for it, so they have a higher loan balance. And they're always gonna have a higher loan balance than buyer A because they bought later. And that's the cost of waiting. Yes.
So whether buyer B refinance at a 2.5% interest rate, hypothetically speaking,
Well, they
Yeah.
both,
and the other person doesn't do 2.5%, say does 5%, 6.5%, does that have a big deal? Do you still have this criteria?
Yeah,
going on?
the thing is, when rates go down and buyer A gets 2.5%, buyer B is gonna refi at 2.5 too. So everyone slides down when rates come down. But what happens is you always will have a higher loan balance. That's the key. You will always have a higher loan balance if you wait. So waiting yourself is for a lower rate, in their head, actually putting themselves into worse terms. So you guys email me this. I can send this to you. You guys can go over it when you're talking to buyers. When they tell you, well, I'm gonna wait because my uncle said rates are going down. The news says rates are going down. I'm gonna wait. Well, there's a cost for waiting, right? And with that, I think you guys should all have this in your arsenal for your buyer packet. Next slide. There's something I created at the end of last year that I didn't present, but I wanted you guys to know I do them, and you guys can have this. Everyone in this office pretty much does open houses. You should have this financing flyer with you when you go to your open house. Doesn't cost you anything, but what it's going to do is show the buyer exactly what they can afford, or at least what the payment is, right? The affordability will come once I get them pre-approved for you. But the thing is, you want to be able to show them exactly what the numbers are, so you can see what the principal interest is, taxes, the insurance on that property. I can do 2 different payment scenarios. I can have it with MI, I can have it without. I can do this with after the refi, so they can see what the payment is today, and what it will look like once they refinance into that rate at 1% lower. So these are time sensitive. I know you guys have open houses on Saturday. This has to be at least requested for me by Thursday at 5 o'clock so that I can put them together on Friday and have them in your box for you so that you guys can take them Saturday. All right. Anyway, guys, I wanted to share that because 2025 is going to be promising for you. The market moved even with rates at 7 and above last year. We know if you look back when rates hit 6% back about September of last year, the market was moving, right? It's gonna get down to 6% again. Not predicting when. We can all have a discussion of that, but we know they're gonna get there eventually. When it does, the market will move. So really, you guys need to go back to that cost of waiting. Marry the property, date the rate. That's it, guys.
Good information?
Yes.
Email him
Yeah.
if you want a copy of this. Also, we can also provide you with the slides if you want a copy of it as well. All right? So far, so good? Everyone good?
Yes.
All right, next slide, please. Okay, so if I can get my panelists of guest speakers up here. I have Jay Tan, give him a round of applause. Carol Gina and Eric. There he is, what's happening? Come on in. You can play musical chairs if you want. Can't do it. A little different today, right? So thank you again, and I really, really appreciate it. I know all of you definitely will get a lot of value, these amazing agents. So we'll start off with production, okay? Just kind of give you a layer, right? Now, all of them have different productions, units and all that, but I just wanted to set the tone and the perspective of the conversation. So can I call you Amy? I love Amy. Amy, I love it. So Amy, and this is last year of production, okay? This is last year, 2024 production. This is just an average, okay? This is average. The MCA still has to gather, but this is kind of a round figure. So she did about 24 units, 24 sales last year, 24 sales.
That's way.
And she did a little over 15 million in sales value. All right, so pretty impressive. Derek Urano, he did a little over 16 million sales value. Also did a little bit over 20 units in sales. Okay. Carol Gina did about 21, a little over 21 million in sales value. Also did about 20 units of sales. And J10 did 24 units and did an impressive 30 million in sales that year. But remember, we still got a lot of top performers in the office, okay? But these are the ones that were able to come and speak to all of you as well, just to give you a new perspective of 2025. So we'll start off with some questions, and it's just a candid conversation we want to have with you. So we'll start with Jay, okay? What was one of the biggest accomplishments that you had last year?
I think more than the actual number and the volume of it all. I think it was at the end of 23, I thought I did a pretty bad year in 23. And it was, very disappointing and frustrating to say the least. So I said at the beginning of 24 that we would push it. And we would really try to, do all that we can. And obviously, we'll let the chips fall where they fall. But as long as I was doing all that I could, then, right, so that's all you can do. And so I think more than, the number that's on into, I think that's probably what I was more excited or appreciative about the numbers and accomplishment with that. Hey, I actually did do all that I could, and then thank God the results came through, right? So that would be my thing.
Yeah, and I know you were pushing hard.
Yeah.
Really pushing hard,
Yeah.
and you still had time to go on vacation.
Yeah, so I don't know, I've gotten a few people coming and saying, "Oh, you've been on vacation quite a bit last year." I was like, "Oh, I guess it's not a bad thing, right? I'm gonna go on vacation and still try to produce." So you gotta, it's part of the joys of being a realtor, the flexibility of it all. But as long as you're working, and when you're having fun, you're having fun. So that's how I think.
And that's the key point, right? Having fun while you're doing something that you're helping people as well. Awesome, thank you. Amy, the same question to you. What was your biggest accomplishment in real estate last year?
I think for me and for a lot of the people that are here, our biggest accomplishment was moving office. I think for us, it was something that we knew we had to do. And we were just like holding back and saying we don't want to because we were comfortable. And we were so used to just being in our little bubble and knowing that in our bubble we were comfortable with what was going on. But we knew it had to be done. So in August, a lot of us decided to make the move. And I think it was great for us and great for our business. And it was a big accomplishment for us.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah, we definitely have amazing agents that transition from another KW office into South Bay. So we're really grateful for that. Same question to you, Bob.
It's similar to James. The
Okay.
previous year wasn't the greatest.
Yeah.
This year I thought, let me put some effort into it. The thing that really helped is this back to the office, we do have a lot of fun. We get a little trouble.
A little crazy, but
We heard you got red flag.
But it might be the low rent district. We're working around.
that's important, right? You align yourself with definitely is very contagious as well. Derek, same question to you, my friend.
Kind of similar. I mean, I was proud of this year that, we set a goal to hit 25 units. And we hit 25 units. And so that was, it's been last year I set the goal and I didn't make it. And this year to hit it was very special.
Yeah. Awesome. What challenges do you face? What challenges did you face that you were able to overcome? We'll start with you, Derek.
Challenges. Outside of like just regular market challenges, I have a little kid now, like a year and a half, and so this last year is between 6 months to like a year and a half. It's been an adjustment to work with to try to be present at home and also be able to
Called no sleep.
So that was I call it a challenge, but it's not. It was a very enjoyable challenge, right?
course.
But it was that adjustment, and so working through that, I think still hitting the goals. I was very proud of.
It's always challenging when you have a small child, because you try to balance.
Second job.
Work and having a child. It's like having a second job. Absolutely. Al, same question to you.
Yeah, it's a work-life balance.
Yeah.
It's trying to find that. So, I know I'm gonna speak on my behalf, we work 7 days. So we call it work, but you gotta enjoy it, so just find enjoyment in the work, not work.
Yeah.
I get good exercise watching you do your marathon.
It's so
Until I start sweating.
It's so funny, because, like this morning on the producer's mindset, I was talking about that real estate is not a 9 to 5, a Monday to Friday job. It's an all day job every single day. We work based on our clients, schedules. That means working evenings and afternoons, sometimes holidays, weekends as well. So just to your point, Al, yeah, it's so true, so true. Amy?
I think for me, it was educating our clients. We had a lot of clients that, were the experts that said it's not the right time to buy. The rates are gonna drop and we need to wait until the rates drop to buy. And my neighbor told me not to buy now because, that the houses are gonna be lower in a few months. So it was just constant educating them and telling them and reminding them and explaining that and the low inventory. It was very hard on us. I mean, we still have 20 buyers out there that are looking for inventory and we can't find them anything in the preferred area to what they need. So I think for our team, it was educating clients and a low inventory.
That's a good problem to have, right? Clients looking for property.
Yeah.
It's tough when you can't find a house that's 750,000 local.
Yeah.
You have to go down south and, Riverside to actually find houses in the 5s and 6s. So.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna twist it up a little bit. So your question is, with everything that happened last year with the changes on the BRBC, the MLS not having the commission, how did you adapt to all of the changes happened during the summer of last year?
We talked about that a few times, Simon, and I was telling Simon, when all this was happening, me personally, I didn't think that it would have had a dramatic or a drastic effect in a normal day-to-day side of things. And quite honestly, I don't think it really did for me personally. I think there was a lot of stuff out there, and there was a lot of stuff out there that we as realtors, were constantly being inundated by just because of, we're in it, right? And so when we're talking to our buyers or sellers or clients, a lot of times they're just getting little bits and pieces of it. And for us, it's just more of an explanation of what the reality is. At the end of the day, here, it's what transparency and communication of the message. And quite honestly, I mean, I don't know how you guys saw it, but I would say 95% of sellers are still paying commission, right? And so
They want to sell.
yeah, exactly, right? And so that's the message, and that's kind of the communication aspect of it. I don't think it had a huge difference. Maybe a little more discussion in the beginning of, the meet and greet with the buyers and sellers, but things move on as always, and, if they want to sell, they're gonna have to pay, so somebody's gonna have to pay one way or another.
Good point, Jay. Derek, that question to you as well. Did the changes last year impact how you ran your business?
Not really. I mean, it's more paperwork, and it's more conversations up front. So just kind of going over what the changes are, what the expectation is, what you can expect, right? And that's still stuff that we would always do normally. It's just now we have to add one more thing to that conversation of what to expect. But as far as a day-to-day perspective and writing offers, it's just figuring out what forms to fill out. But like Jay said, I haven't seen a drastic difference in how it's affected us.
But it's funny and ironic, and you're listening to the panelists talk about that it didn't really impact. It was more of a conversation, understanding the elements of the contract, but business as usual, where I heard a lot of agents complain, nag, frustrated, all of this, instead of focusing on your clients, that were more focused on the commission. Does that make sense? When in reality, you need to be focused on your clients. And that's what you're saying, basically. Al, to that point?
Actually, I thought it was a positive thing, to be honest. So my listing presentation was so much easier. All I said, this is the way it should have been in the beginning, because in the beginning, they were delegated that, hey, both agents. Didn't matter about the offer or not, and then your commission as well. So my conversation is, I got great news, because the contracts change, all you're responsible is for my payment. 2.5%, 3%. Depending on the merit and the strength of the offer, you can decide to offer the buyer's agent a commission. And they're like, really? So I tell them it's completely flexible. And it was a positive thing.
The only thing I don't agree with, and I've been doing this for a long time, as you guys know, is when I call an agent selling a 2.5 million or $3 million home. And I asked her, is there any seller's concession? And one answer I got that I really didn't like is that the listing agent evidently doesn't have any communication with her seller, because the house is still for sale after we canceled our offer. But getting to just getting a commission was an uphill battle. And she said, she first delegated, says, my seller is considering paying the seller's commission. So I have my buyer right now. I'm working for the buyer. My buyer wants to put the offer in. The buyer doesn't really care about our commissions, but of course, he expects us to get paid. But my buyer is not going to pay $2.5 million cash and then pay me a commission. So he says, I'm not going to pay a commission. Get it from the seller. We're going to get him cash. We're going to close in 30 days. And gave him a good offer.
And just to your point, I mean, go back to when we originally had the paperwork, the zip forms, the contracts in June, and now look at the new forms. They've been revised, they've been modified,
Right.
and now they've removed the SBPP form. It's not part of the agreement now. Everything is incorporated into the purchase agreement when it comes to.
I agree with Al. I mean, the way you do your presentation, it's easier to get listing now because you say you're not responsible, but the other agent's going to be, I mean, let's be frank. Anybody here want to sell any listings for free? I have 5 of them. Come over, bring me an offer and you work for free. Nobody's going to do that. I don't expect you to do that. And I won't take a listing. So it's not going to, actually give concessions out. I'm not going to take the listing because I'm going to have a listing there, and then I'm going to end up fighting with realtors I've known for the last 30 years that are very professional and that have already gone through this and already rehearsed.
But it goes back to, Jim, it's how you approach the conversation, right? And this is the skill set to really navigate on the value proposition of why.
I'll tell you this one particular realtor in Marietta,
Right.
she says they will consider.
Yeah. Hold that thought. I wanna hear it from Amy. Well,
Education, again, educating your client. It goes back to my original problem since the beginning. It's all about how you educate the buyer,
Right.
how you educate the seller. It doesn't matter what side you're representing. It's all about the biggest challenge as realtors that we have is just communication with them, right?
Absolutely.
We have to
Totally
communicate
agree
a
with
little
you.
bit more. Yes, maybe a little bit more paperwork, but that's why we have TCs or we could put in that extra hour a day, but it's all about how you educate your client. Doesn't matter the side you're representing.
absolutely. All right, fast forward now. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Let's give them a round of applause. Now, let's look forward now into 2025. What are your top 3 goals this year? Okay.
I always for me, it's always an activity goal. Because I believe that if I do the activity, the numbers will come. And so for me, it's always, if you guys have been in my training, I'm all about door knocking and farming and all that kind of stuff, right? So I always have for myself activity goals. How many doors am I gonna actually knock a week, a month? And that'll generate, how many doors a year? How much marketing material am I gonna put out for the year? So for me, it's just, how many doors I'm gonna knock. And that's on a month-to-month basis. That's how I track it anyway. And then obviously that would then translate to how many open houses that I'm gonna do. I also for me, it's farming and open houses. Those are my 2 big activities that generate the majority of my business. So I always say how many open houses I'm gonna do, how many doors I'm gonna knock. Obviously, ultimately, what's the volume that my goal is.
Eric, any question? Top goals for this year?
Top. I usually start with either a GCI number or unit number. I kind of work backwards from there. So this year, we're looking at how many transactions we want to do. Usually it's a transaction number because the GCI part is just kind of what it is. But the unit count, I feel like I have more control over.
Sure.
So I look at the unit count and then work backwards to try to figure out, where those goals are gonna, or where those things are gonna come from. And so, this year it's adding another avenue of leads for my business. So I have a couple of things that I'm working on trying to do that. And hitting the goals. I mean, it's my business. I don't really try to add too much. It's more just trying to make sure I do the basics. And that way I don't get overwhelmed by having too many goals for you.
It can be pretty stressful
Yeah.
sometimes, right? Awesome, thank you for sharing that, Derek. Al, same question. Top three goals this year for 2025.
When you say that, what three?
1, 2, 3.
What are those
Tres.
Florida, Dublin, and Hawaii.
Yeah.
My kind of canvassing.
Does any of you work on your database? Yeah, what does that look like on your database? Open mic, anyone can open it up.
Contracts, appointments.
Okay.
closings.
I think for us, our team focuses a lot in communication with them. We try to do like a major, like in December, we send out calendars. And then we follow up, just to confirm we received the calendar. How, we don't try to pitch anything about real estate. We're just trying to see how they are, right? And then again, in the spring, we follow up with maybe with a magazine, and a text, a call, the same with the summer. And for us, I mean, whoever knows our team knows that we don't door knock, we don't call. All of our business is just referrals. So it actually, for us, it works. Just the communication with our clients and, making sure that they remember us. And then we remind them every single time we talk to them, hey, at the end of the conversation, if you know anybody that wants to sell or buy, send them this way. And it has worked.
Great lead generation.
Beautiful.
I mean,
Is
if I
there-
could give one quick goal on
Yeah,
one thing
please,
about
please.
that, I would say just keep it simple.
Keep
Right.
it simple, I love that.
KISS, all right, keep it simple, stupid, right? I mean, the more complicated you make it, the more frustrating it is. Have one or two and three, and just make sure you bang those three out, and you'll be fine. I think a lot of times when we start a new year, we hear about this, right? I think, keep it simple, stupid. Just keep it simple and you'll be fine. And the key thing to that is making sure you actually, bang those out now, right? So.
Because you do a high volume of production, is there anything different that you're gonna do that you didn't do last year, this year? Or are you gonna stay pretty much the same as last year? I mean, because the results obviously showed, and you don't want to reinvent the wheel, but for the audience, is there anything specific or particular that you're gonna implement different this year?
I think for me is every year we need to take that's a new challenge and set a goal that. I mean, most of us like setting goals that we know we can accomplish, so we could feel good at the end of the year and say we did it. So maybe we need to go outside the box and set a goal that is more not realistic, where we have to actually work harder. And actually say, you know what? Even if we don't reach it at the end of the year, we tried, and even if we got halfway through it, it was better than not having it, right? We all like at the beginning of the year, just doing our goals and saying, well, if we know we could close 25 houses, we can have 25 houses. If we know we could do two open houses a month, right? But what about pushing ourselves and actually saying, well, 30 houses? Well, 4 open houses. I mean, for us, for our team, every year we increase the number by 2. So this year I told Pepe we were gonna increase it by 10. Just so we could push ourselves a little more and actually feel the pressure, right? Because it's not a realistic goal if we're knowing that we're gonna reach it and we're gonna say, oh, something simple and we know we're gonna get it there.
Awesome. One word of advice that you could give the audience. Okay.
It's kind of boring, but for me, it's just consistency. It's boring, it sucks. I mean, but it's what works. As long as you keep doing it, something will come out of it, right? If you're consistent with your goals, keep on banging away, something will happen. I believe that.
Thank you.
Find your niche.
Find your niche.
We all have, a life outside real estate and, it could be your kid's school, it could be your, soccer team, it could be whatever, and focus on finding leads there, at something you're good at, and really just focus that and make that your goal for this year, and,
Al,
Mine's the same as Jay. Consistency. I know it's boring.
but it works. It gets the job done. Derek?
Yeah. Basically consistency. I mean, I can throw like determination, and mindset. So I think that is part of it is a mindset thing. Like, what is the goal we set? If it's not working, that's okay. We have to keep going. And eventually good things will happen.
Awesome. Let's give our panelists a round here. Thank you. One thing, and the cool thing about it, guys, you can reach out to them and they'll be more than happy to, give you some advice.
Work smarter, not harder.
Yeah, always work smarter, right? Leverage. Awesome, let's go on again. Another round. All right, well, let's go ahead and continue. Next slide, please. All right, we got Mr. Fred.
It is a brand new year, and if they didn't fire you up for 2025, because you can see any one of them in the office and you would never think that they're doing 25, 26 units in a year because they're so down to earth. And they pour into the people that they talk to, right?
Right.
So I have a word to say for you. So I'm gonna give this, I put it, because I'm old, so I gotta write things down. This is what I want you to do. I want you to learn to make offers to everyone you meet, no matter whether or not it's business or personal. Find something important to them and offer something that you can help them with. It changes how you perceive things and it increases your standing. You are leading with value, no expectation of anything in return. Now, not many will take you up on it, but almost all will appreciate what you do. Now, the reason why I wrote that down is because when my son, now mind you, I'm a pastor, right? Been pastoring for 28 years. My son went to Cal Baptist University. And when he came back, we would go to Riverside, we would go to dinner. And when we went to dinner and the waitress was there and they were serving us, while the waitress was doing their job, he sat there and said, "Is there anything that I can do for you?" And this one moment at the restaurant, that waitress began to tear up because somebody stopped her while she was going through something and asked, "Can I help you with something?" Somebody, even with what's going on today, I have a cousin that lives in Canada, called me from Canada to ask me today, "Are you okay?" Because of what's going on in California. Do not expect anything in return. Just offer you and what you can do. It may not mean anything to you, but it'll mean a vast amount to someone that you entered their lives into with those words of encouragement. So make 25 a year to make it happen, all right?
With all the fires happening right now on the west side, Santa Monica, and out in Pasadena, if you know of anyone, this is a great segue and an opportunity. I know we have agents that live over there that are part of this office. This morning, the staff and myself and leadership, we were just reaching out, sending texts, calling them and just checking in with them, because it's impacting all of us. So thank you. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. All right, let's continue. Next slide. All right. So today, conversation is going to be about self-mastery, okay? I'm gonna play a very quick, 2-3 minute video. Who has seen the original Karate Kid? Karate Kid, okay? All right, so I want you to just absorb the video, and then I have a slide right after. You guys ready? Now go ahead and play.
Wax on, wax off.
You guys remember that part?
Yeah.
Does it resonate? Does it bring some memories?
Yeah.
All right, so imagine this, okay? Imagine that you're Daniel and Mr. Miyagi is your real estate coach, your mentor, your broker, or even the process of building your business itself. You're showing up day after day, grinding through the modest tasks, cold calling, inputting client data into your CRM, writing follow-up emails, and hosting open houses. It feels like busy work, right? You might even catch yourself thinking, how is this supposed to make me a top producer? This isn't what I signed up for. I'm supposed to be out closing deals and living the dream. Next slide. But here's the truth. Okay, repetitive, boring tasks are the foundation of success. Just like Daniel learning to wax the car and paint the fence as a way to master defensive karate moves, every cold call you make sharpens your communication skills. Every open house you host builds your market knowledge. Every follow-up email teaches you persistence and attention to details. There aren't just tasks, they're your training. Now imagine this, one day you're sitting with a client and they ask a tough market question or challenge you on a price. Without hesitation, you draw on all of those open house conversations and the market analysis, and instinctively you know how to respond. That's paint the fence moments. Another day you negotiate a deal, all of those follow-ups, calls, and report building tasks kicked in. That's your sample floor in action. The grind isn't the enemy, it's the teacher. Next slide. Next slide. And just like Mr. Miyagi told Daniel, the lesson is clear. Come back tomorrow. The key to success in real estate isn't the flashy moment, but in the consisting of showing up, doing the work, trusting the process. Mastery doesn't happen overnight. It builds in hours when no one is watching and it feels like you're just painting the fence. So the next time you feel like you're stuck in the grind, remember Daniel. You're not just doing the task, you're building your business muscle, and the habits you build today will become your instinct tomorrow. Now get out there and paint the fence, and most importantly, come back tomorrow. Okay? It really resonates because one, I love the movie, and I think the movie was done really well back in the 80s. But it really just puts the perspective, in my opinion, of the importance of showing up, right? I always say you get up, you dress up, and you show up. And look at all these amazing agents that showed up today for the first meeting of 2025. Okay. But we're almost 500 agents in here. It should be 500 agents in here. And I get it, a lot of us have regular jobs, do real estate as a side hustle. But this is what I like to see on a consistent basis. Because the beauty is you can collaborate with a lot of top performers in this office that are doing it, okay? There's a lot of top agents here that you can pick their brain and see what they're doing different to see results. And just like Mr. Miyagi he went in there thinking he's over there sanding the floors, painting the fence, but the reality he was teaching them the core values of what you need to do to go out there and earn, right? The earn of respect, because he was being bullied in school, right? If you saw the movie. Okay. I cannot guarantee and I cannot promise you you're going to make money in real estate, but what I can tell you is if you're in the grind every single day, I promise you it will show up. And this is why I thought, what a great way to start the new year is with a video clip of Mr. Miyagi and Daniel LaRusso on the importance of the principles, right? The basics, okay? Because all of you can do the basic moves, right? But ultimately, this is how he won the championship. And 2025 is going to be your year, ladies and gentlemen, your year, okay? But you gotta believe it. You gotta really, really resonate and believe it. Because at the end of the movie, he wins the championship. And I want all of you to be champions in December, all right? So I'll leave it with that. All right. All right, any listing pictures, buyer needs coming soon that you want to pitch today? Eric?
My name is Eric Powers. I have a.
Eric
duplex. Yeah. I was thinking, does Daniel represent the individual agent versus the teams? Hi, and you're Mr. Miyagi. But yeah, I am part of the new team. I just joined right for the holidays, and I have a duplex in San Pedro, 2-bedroom, 1 bathroom, 2 buildings, single car garage, off market for next month. And also in
How much is it?
it's gonna be 850. It'll be vacant.
Below Gaffey?
It's at 19th and Mesa.
Oh.
Is it 2-1 each?
2-1 each, yeah, and then the garage is divided, the 2-car garage divided.
Why important to
and then
pitch
it
it?
has-
Well, might already be sold. Eric, it might be already sold.
Yeah,
Awesome.
and then a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom in Torrance on like 232nd Catherine. That's 165.
Beautiful, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, anyone else? Yes, sir.
So before I list, before I talk about mine, I want to-
Speak up.
before I talk
We got
about
people on
mine,
Zoom.
before I talk about mine, I kind of want to tell a little quick story first. So, January 1st, I was out with my kids. I was driving home. I literally was thinking, man, I hope this year goes good because I just started doing real estate full time in August. And I'm stressed already about nothing happening, but trying not to hold too much expectations. But I'm thinking about it on the drive home. 20 minutes later, I get a call from my person. I was just like, money go. I got a 2-bedroom, 1-bath condo, trust sale in North Redondo, the corner of Aviation Prospect, northwest corner of that. You got a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. It's going at 825. It's needs TLC. There's a double car garage on the bottom floor, it's 3 floors. Double car garage on the bottom, all bedrooms up top, full jacuzzi. But TLC 825, 2-bedroom, 1.5.
Is it in the complex?
Yes.
How many units?
31 units.
31 units?
Is it on Camino? Is it on Camino, yeah?
No, it's actually on, you go the northwest corner of Prospect and Aviation, there's a street called Stanford. It's called Stanford.
It's right by Big Lots.
Right,
It's
right
right by Big Lots. I drove by, all of a sudden I'm driving and I see a sign, I go, "Oh," so I pull over, I take a picture of it, and I go.
Thank you.
Oh,
Eric. Thank you.
Put on a Signal Hill condo today, 2-bed, 2-bath, 7,000 square feet, 575. We have 4 units, we have USC coming out, hopefully, about 1-3. 2-bed, 1-bath, 2 units of 2-bed, 1-bath, all around 1-3.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Derek. Anyone else? Yes, Jim.
I still have my, the bankruptcy sale. Now, I had the 334 West Oliver up for $1,125,000. It sold for under $1 million. There's one backup offer in it, but nothing safe till the court date because you could outbid. You could be outbid the original offer by 10,000. So I have that duplex is on Oliver. It's 7 bedrooms, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 4-bedroom, 2-bath duplex on 334 West Oliver, listed for $1,025,000. And if you guys know cap rates, do the cap rates of under $1 million for $7,000 a month. $7,000 a month is easy. Probably generate about $7,500 a month income. So, I mean, I sold a condo in Hermosa for 1.7, and it's getting $7,000 a month rent income right now. And this is $1 million, so the cap rate is gonna be very, very, very high. Also, I have that little property next to Wiener Schnitzel on Gaffey, right next door, 1,000 square feet, 3,000 square foot lot of commercial. It's down to like 559 asking. Who knows what it sells for? These are must sales. If they don't sell by April, the court goes in there and either takes away the property or puts such a low price on it that it'll sell automatically. Also, I have a lot, LAR2 lot right in back of that commercial property that was originally purchased to be a parking lot for the drive-through restaurant. It's an LAR2 lot, 5,000 square feet. It's at $499. Any builder could put 3 units on it. It's bordered by street and 2 alleyways. Very easy to build 2 units and an ADU. Lot different from building is just a separate lot that has you have to go in between houses because you can access the slot from 3 sides. That's going for $559 at 675 West of Polish Street. Also, I have an excellent deal. It's like Spanish Mansion. It's in Thousand Oaks, so half a mile past the Ronald Reagan Museum. It's on 50 acres. 17 acres is an avocado orchard, which can generate up to $300,000 a year when it's fully grown. So right now the water shut off, stop producing any avocados, just minor stuff that can't be. So, but that's going for $5,495,000. Thousand Oaks for 50 acres. That's a very, very good deal.
What else you got, Jim? What else?
Property selling for like $7 million right next to it. And that's it.
Awesome. All right, yes.
Coming back
Okay.
in South Redondo Beach by the ocean. It's a 2-bedroom, 2 baths, and it's a condo. Lease is flexible, 6 to 1 year, and coming very soon.
Very good. All right.
5,500.
Beautiful. Anyone else?
Ocean view.
Yes, Fred.
Okay, so I have a listing on right off of Century and Crenshaw in Inglewood. It's a townhome, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, going for $705. And then also we have one that we actually have 4 offers on it now. Seller's going to be doing multiple counter offers on a property. We reduced it $110,000. It's on the market for $765 on 124th Street in Los Angeles. It's a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, upper level and lower level. So it's on the market for $765. And then also one of our mentees has a lease. He's not here, but it's a lease on 1 Ocean Gate in Palos Verdes. It's a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, 2 units, great view of the Hollywood sign all the way over to Long Beach, the Queen Mary, and it's leasing for $5,000 a month.
Beautiful. Okay, anyone else?
I'm looking for a property.
Okay.
I'm looking for a townhouse, 2-bedroom. He really wants 2 bathrooms, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, or 3-bedroom, 2-bath, up to $765,000. He wants an attached garage. So he's ready to go, 20% down, already pre-approved. Can't find anything in a really good area. We've been missing out. We missed ones in San Pedro, but he's ready to go. If anybody has any listings coming up, please let me know.
Beautiful. All right, well, let's go ahead and continue because I know we have our productivity program right after. Okay, next slide, Nat. So thank you all who supported. We had 99 quotes collected last month, so. Next slide. All right, some upcoming events. Family reunion, February 17th through the 21st. It'll be in Las Vegas at the Mandalay Bay. We've got some guest speakers. Next slide. If you're interested, please make sure to get your tickets. And just a friendly reminder, folks, okay, I don't see that many South Bay agents jump on the producer's mindset. It's on Zoom. It's at 8 o'clock in the morning. Yes, I know for some of us it's during the school hours, right? We're taking our kids. But it's great to have agents. It just gets you in the right mindset. And really, it's amongst the leaders here that every day a guest, every Friday we have a guest speaker that comes on and speaks. But the majority team leaders will have a dialogue for 30 minutes. It's on Zoom, Monday through Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30. Love to see more of our KW agents. Next slide. And up at Palos Verdes, team leader is hosting the events for the lab January 2025. So, not Paul, what's his name? Jesus. John, thank you. John up at the PB office is hosting these events. So please take advantage of it. If you're interested, it's all being done on Zoom. Next slide. And friendly reminder, every Fridays, 10:30 contract classes here at the office. Love to see you in person, but we also do them on Zoom. Next slide. And one of our agent is doing AI for realtors, ChatGPT powered marketing for KW Command. It's free, but we need to have you register. Okay, so it'll be a 3 class setting session from 9 a.m. to 10:30 on Tuesday, February 4th, Thursday, February 6th, and then Tuesday, February 11th. Renee Garcia, one of our agents here, is going with his wife, will be providing this training. Next slide. Okay, before we close it out, I also want to bring Steve Gottlieb. Most of you know he's one of our broker associates. Steve, come up here real quick. Yes. Steve, I know we were chatting a little bit about your Q&A, so tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, I'm starting up again a week from tonight, every Wednesday night via Zoom. Going to be starting contract Q&A. What that means is that from your own living room or your own home office, you're now able to come in. And for those of you who don't have a true command of the contract, excuse me, you're now able to now come on site. We're going to have a link. It'll be in the calendar where you now are able to then ask anything about the contract. Now, the one thing you can't do, which I agree with Simon, is you can't say I'm in the middle of escrow and I have a transaction issue. How would I resolve this? I promised them I wouldn't take on that role. However, our contract is how many pages now? 17 pages, okay? And so at that point, I understand for many of the newer agents, one of the things that holds you back is the fear that you're not confident with it. That if your client were to say, what does this clause mean and what does it mean to me? And how does it impact me? Okay, you're not sure how to answer. So I'm not going on the call with any defined agenda or script on any given night. You guys say, hey, what does this clause mean? Or how would one handle explaining this to my client? Whether it be offers, counter offers, negotiations, all involving the contract. And you're going to actually be able to hear me actually use the examples of how I would go about explaining whatever clause to my client. So at least then you have a framework. And it's going to be every Wednesday. I'm actually decided to make it from 6 to 7. I was going to make it 7 to 8, but so you can actually have dinner, okay, and be able to call in every week. So I really want to encourage you, you know, even if you don't even know what to ask, if you're completely brand new, come online, because whatever question is then being asked and then answered, you're going to learn from it. Yes.
And will there be like a link and an email to join the meeting?
Yeah, I think the office is going to send out emails, I think on Wednesday, but it'll also be put on the training calendar as well for you to link up via the Zoom. Okay. I will also have them recorded, okay, at that point. But I would want to encourage you to be able to, even before getting onto the calls, review the contract and say, what don't I understand? And say, I'm gonna ask them about this tonight, okay? And so, one of the things that I absolutely understand, I've been doing this for a long while.
Long time.
I mean, not quite as long as Jim, but I'm right behind him. I'm in my 4th decade of real estate. Okay, I grew up with the contract. Jim and I grew up with the contract. When I started, it was 1 page. Okay, 17 pages now. And so, you know, it's when you have a command of the contract, you now are able to then advise your client. You're going to actually welcome to have conversations with your client and not just avoid it, because our contracts are more than just about price. Okay, it's price, and what makes and breaks transactions is not the price, it's the terms. Okay, so I highly, highly want to encourage you. Thank you for being able to have, you know, it's my resolution that this is my way of being able to give back. I decided I've been doing this long enough, time to give back, and that's what we're gonna do. Awesome.
Are you doing it? Are you doing it tonight?
And not tonight,
Not tonight.
starting a week from tonight. Awesome, very good.
All right, team, well, that concludes our team meeting. Thank you very much. If you're part of the PC program